Capitalizing on Dimensional Realities, a Guide to Living Your Perfect Life. Chapter 1. The Concept of Dimensional Realities. Let's begin by imagining something simple yet profound. What if every choice you've ever made has led you to the exact reality you're living right now? And what if, with every decision you make moving forward, you could shift into an entirely different reality? One that's perfectly aligned with your desires, ambitions, and dreams? This is the core idea behind dimensional realities, a concept that may sound abstract but is, in fact, very practical and empowering when understood. Dimensional realities refer to the different versions of reality that coexist, where every possible outcome of your choices and actions exists. Essentially, there are infinite possibilities for how your life can unfold, each one like a unique thread in a vast, interconnected web. Some of these realities may align with your best life, filled with success, joy, and fulfillment. Others may be less desirable, leaving you feeling stuck or limited. The exciting part is that you have the power to move between these realities by shifting your mindset, actions, and energy. What are dimensional realities? Imagine for a moment that you're standing in front of an endless number of doors, each one representing a different version of your life. Behind one door, you're thriving in your dream career. Behind another, you're living in a beautiful home by the sea. Some doors might lead to realities where you face challenges that feel insurmountable. Every decision you make is like choosing which door to open and step through, guiding you to the next version of your life. Dimensional realities are the spaces where all these versions coexist. What's incredible is that these dimensions aren't fixed. They're constantly shifting and evolving based on your thoughts, emotions, and choices. The idea is simple. The life you're living today is a reflection of the reality you've chosen, consciously or unconsciously, through your decisions and energy. But here's the good news. You can shift to a more favorable reality at any time. How do our choices shape reality? Let's get a little more practical. Think about a major life decision you've made recently. Maybe you took a new job, ended a relationship, or moved to a new city. Whatever the case, that decision didn't just change your day-to-day activities. It shifted you into a new reality with different opportunities, challenges, and experiences. Every choice, whether big or small, acts like a turning point, moving you from one version of your life to another. Even decisions that seem insignificant, like what you eat for breakfast or how you respond to an email, can influence your reality in subtle but meaningful ways. Every thought, every emotion, and every action is a powerful signal that directs the flow of your life. In this way, reality isn't something that happens to you. It's something you co-create, moment by moment. Shifting realities through awareness. Now that we've established that your choices shape your reality, let's dive into how you can consciously shift into a more favorable one. It starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge, so the first step is to assess where you are right now. Take a moment to reflect on your current reality. How do you feel about the different areas of your life? Your career, relationships, health, and personal growth? Are you content, or do you feel like something is missing? Becoming aware of what's working and what's not is essential because it gives you a clear sense of where you stand. From there, you can start making conscious choices that align with the reality you want to experience. Think of it like adjusting the dials on a radio. If you're tuned into a station that's full of static, you can turn the knob until you find clear music. Shifting realities works in the same way. If your current experience feels like static, it's within your power to adjust the dials of your mindset, energy, and actions until you land on the frequency of your ideal life. Practical steps to shift into your ideal reality. Let's get even more hands-on. Here's a simple exercise to help you start shifting into a reality that's aligned with your dreams. 1. Visualize your desired reality. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now imagine waking up tomorrow in a reality where everything has fallen perfectly into place. What does your day look like? What are you doing? How do you feel? Get as detailed as possible. Imagine the sights, sounds, and emotions of this ideal life. 2. Write it down. Open your eyes and write down everything you just visualized. Don't worry about grammar or structure. Just let the words flow. Describe this reality as if it's happening right now. I wake up feeling energized and excited to start my day. I'm living in my dream home, surrounded by people who inspire and support me. 3. Take one aligned action. Now that you've tapped into your desired reality, it's time to take action. Ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today that aligns with this version of my life? It could be as simple as making a phone call, practicing self-care, or setting a new goal. The key is to start moving in the direction of the reality you want to experience. 4. Affirm your shift. Throughout your day, remind yourself, I am shifting into my most favorable reality. Say this affirmation out loud or silently whenever you need a boost of motivation. The more you believe it, the more you'll start to see shifts in your life. Real life story. Shifting from stagnation to abundance. Let me tell you about Sarah, a client who felt stuck in her career and unsure of her direction in life. She had a well-paying job, but she wasn't fulfilled. After learning about the concept of dimensional realities, she began to shift her perspective. Instead of viewing her current situation as fixed, she saw it as just one version of her life, with countless other possibilities waiting for her. Sarah started visualizing a reality where she was doing work that made her feel alive and purposeful. Every day she spent a few minutes imagining this new reality, writing it down, and taking small actions aligned with her vision. Within a few months, opportunities started flowing into her life. She was offered a new position that aligned perfectly with her passions, and she felt more fulfilled than ever. Sarah didn't just dream of a better reality. She created it. Conclusion: you have the power to shift. The truth is, you are far more powerful than you realize. Every decision, every thought, and every action holds the potential to shift you into a reality where your dreams are your daily experience. Dimensional realities are not just a concept. They are a tool for transformation. As you move forward, remember that you have the power to choose the reality you want to live in. So, take the reins, make conscious choices, and step boldly into the life you deserve. Your perfect reality is waiting. All you have to do is shift. Chapter 2. The science and philosophy behind multiple realities. What if I told you that the reality you're living in right now isn't the only version of your life? Imagine that alongside this reality, countless others are unfolding simultaneously, each shaped by different choices, perspectives, and possibilities. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's not as far-fetched as you might think. Science and philosophy have both explored the concept of multiple realities for decades, and today, we're going to dive into the fascinating world where these ideas meet. Quantum mechanics. Science meets the multiverse. Let's start with the science. At its core, quantum mechanics is the study of the very smallest particles in the universe, things like atoms and subatomic particles. What's fascinating about quantum mechanics is that it shows us a universe far more complex and uncertain than what we experience in our day-to-day lives. One of the most well-known ideas in quantum mechanics is the concept of superposition, which essentially means that particles can exist in multiple states or locations at once, only settling into one state when they are observed. This gives us our first clue that reality, as we perceive it, is not as fixed or singular as it seems. Now, imagine that on a much larger scale. If subatomic particles can exist in multiple states, why not entire realities? This is where the idea of the multiverse comes in. According to some interpretations of quantum mechanics, particularly the many worlds interpretation, every decision or action you make causes the universe to split into different branches, with each branch representing a different outcome. In other words, there's a reality where you took that job offer, and another where you didn't. Both realities exist, even if you're only experiencing one of them right now. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? But it's also empowering. This idea suggests that every version of your life, Every possibility already exists. All that's left is for you to shift into the reality that aligns with your desires. The butterfly effect. Small choices, big realities. Let's take a moment to reflect on how the idea of multiple realities might show up in your everyday life. Have you ever made a seemingly small choice? Maybe you decided to go to a networking event or take a different route home, and later realized that this small decision had a massive impact on your life? This is often referred to as the butterfly effect, where minor actions lead to major consequences. The butterfly effect shows us that even the tiniest shift in your actions or mindset can have a ripple effect, leading you to a completely different outcome. In the context of dimensional realities, this means that every thought, every choice, and every action has the potential to move you closer to or further from the reality you desire. Philosophical perspectives. Reality is what you make of it. Now, let's step into the realm of philosophy, where thinkers have been exploring the nature of reality for centuries. One key philosophical idea that aligns with the concept of multiple realities is subjective idealism, the idea that reality is shaped by the mind. Philosophers like George Berkeley believe that nothing exists outside of perception. In other words, reality is not something fixed or objective. It is shaped and experienced through your own consciousness. This philosophical perspective lines up beautifully with the idea that you can shift your reality by changing your thoughts, beliefs, and perspectives. If reality is a construct of the mind, then changing your mindset is a powerful way to align yourself with more favorable realities. Think about it. When you believe you can achieve something, you act in ways that make it possible. When you believe you're stuck or limited, those beliefs become your reality. Your thoughts and perceptions literally create the world around you. The intersection of science and philosophy, living between worlds. Now that we've explored both the scientific and philosophical sides of multiple realities, let's look at how these ideas intersect. While quantum mechanics gives us a glimpse into the mechanics of how multiple realities might function, philosophy provides us with a framework for how we, as individuals, experience and influence these realities. At this intersection, we find an exciting truth. You are not merely a passive observer of your reality. You are a creator of it. By understanding that your thoughts, perceptions, and actions shape your experience, you can begin to take control of your reality in a very real way. You don't have to wait for life to happen to you. You can actively shift into a reality where you're living your best life. Practical application, shifting into your most favorable reality. Let's bring this all back down to earth with some practical steps you can take to start shifting into a more favorable reality. Understanding the science and philosophy is great, but applying it is where the real magic happens. 1. Start with your mindset. As we've discussed, reality is largely shaped by your perceptions and beliefs. So, the first step to shifting into a new reality is to change your mindset. Take note of any limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck. For example, if you believe that you're not good enough for a promotion, that belief will keep you in a reality where you're constantly overlooked for opportunities. Challenge these beliefs and replace them with empowering ones, like, I am fully capable and deserving of success. 2. Visualize your desired reality. One of the most powerful ways to shift your reality is through visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself in the reality you want to experience. See it, feel it, and live it in your mind. The more vividly you can imagine this reality, the more likely you are to align with it. 3. Take aligned actions. Visualization alone isn't enough. You need to take concrete steps that align with the reality you want. If your desired reality involves being healthier, start by making small, actionable changes. Maybe that's choosing a nutritious meal today or going for a walk. Each small step brings you closer to the reality you desire. 4. Stay open to possibilities. Remember, the universe is vast, and there are infinite possibilities available to you. Stay open to new opportunities and paths that may not have been on your radar before. Sometimes, the universe will surprise you with an unexpected turn of events that shifts you into a better reality than you could have imagined. Real-life case. From doubt to belief. Let me share a story about a friend of mine, Jason, who felt stuck in a loop of self-doubt. For years, he struggled to break through in his career. No matter how hard he worked, he felt like he was spinning his wheels. After learning about the concept of multiple realities, he decided to change his approach. Instead of focusing on what wasn't working, he began visualizing himself in a reality where he was confident, successful, and recognized for his talents. He challenged his limiting beliefs and started taking small actions aligned with this new vision. Networking more, taking on leadership roles, and believing in his worth. Within a year, Jason was offered a position at a company that valued his expertise and leadership. He didn't just dream about a better reality. He shifted into it by changing his mindset and aligning his actions with his vision. Conclusion. The science and philosophy are yours to apply. The science and philosophy behind multiple realities aren't just abstract ideas. They are tools you can use to live your perfect life. Quantum mechanics shows us that multiple possibilities exist simultaneously, and philosophy reminds us that reality is shaped by our consciousness. By combining these ideas and taking practical steps, you can begin to shift into the most favorable reality available to you. So, as you move forward in this journey, remember that the version of your life where you thrive is out there. It's up to you to align with it. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions have the power to move you from where you are now to where you truly want to be. You are not bound by your current reality. You are free to shift, create, and thrive in a reality of your own making.